So I'm open up in the Start Here menu, and this is just a basic podcast run through of what you're going to find here in the Start Here menu. I try to plug everything in here so that it is a one-stop shop. So when you get here, please feel free to take your time browsing through. You're going to want to be scrolling down and just looking at all that I've put here. Several things you have to actually open up and check out. Some things are documents, some things are other podcasts, instructions, and so forth. So I'm going to just quickly walk you through this. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on each item because you can do that on your own. I just want to orient you to what is here. So your syllabus, first and foremost, you're definitely going to want to print that out. You're going to want to have it near you. Even though this is an online class, you always want to have access to that. Use a highlighter, use whatever is effective for you to keep track of important due dates, times, all of that kind of thing that you're going to want to have handy as you're kind of working through the semester. Information on your textbooks are here. The bookstore will have the textbook in Friday or Monday. We had an issue with the publisher in that I was trying to get the third edition, which the publisher said would be fine at the start of the summer, and that would have saved some money, and now they've retracted and said, nope, they're not going to be sending the third edition. We actually have to go with the fourth edition. So unfortunately, it ups the cost a little bit, and there's a bit of a delay in getting the books. However, I have posted the first chapter, a PDF of the first chapter of the book on Play-Doh here. You'll find it below, and you'll find it in the week 1 folder. So you can go ahead and get started on your reading even if you don't quite have your books yet, and that's really important. But otherwise, here's the information. The bookstore will have it Friday or Monday, they tell me, and you're also able to get it on other sites, other sources. Just beware wherever you order that you're getting the 4th edition, and it's Cicerelli and White in Exploration. Cicerelli and White do have other intro psych books, so make sure it's in Exploration 2018 4th edition. That's the correct one. And you'd also need to make sure to get the My Psych Lab access code. That if you buy it from the bookstore, it comes bundled together, but if you buy it somewhere else, it probably doesn't, and you'd have to buy those separately. The access code can come from PearsonHigherEd.com, so you can also go there to purchase that. We will be using the My Psych Lab extensively in the class for videos. You'll be taking practice quizzes, getting study guides, all that kind of stuff in My Psych Lab. And then you also have this Hawk book, which I'm guessing you could probably also find somewhere else for cheaper. But again, just be aware of any return policies and be aware of when you will be receiving your books if you purchase them elsewhere. Not having your book in time is not an excuse to not get started on the material. So you don't want to purchase something that you're not going to have for 2 or 3 weeks. That would set you back. So be careful with that. I've provided some information on how to log in to My Psych Lab. There is a course code that you're going to need, and that is also listed in your syllabus. So if you have that, you can reference that there as well. But all the instructions are here in My Psych Lab. You get an access code that comes with the book, which is basically what allows you in the first place. And then once you're in, you have a course code that tells it whose class are you in. And then that way you're all set. I've included a bio of me so that you can get to know me a little bit better. It's always, hard with online classes, how much you can get to know each other. But I'm a really big fan of these bios, which is why I'm actually having everyone do a bio. It's a short, brief bio that you're going to post in the student lounge during week 1. as a way to introduce yourself to the class. Please, by all means, include a picture. That would be lovely so we can see you. It's always great to have faces with names. And include some things about yourself. Take a look at my bio and see how I did mine. And you can craft yours in a similar fashion. But you're going to go ahead and post those in the student lounge this week. And I have some more instructions for you on that in the week 1 folder, which, by the way, let me go back up here. Here's all the weeks. You're not going to see these weeks because they're checked off. Only I can see them. So when you open your Play-Doh, you're only going to see week 1, and you're going to have access to the week 1 content. Every week I will make each week available on Sunday evening for the following week. So let's go back down here, Instructor Bio. Here is the PDF I was telling you about for Cicerelli and White, so you can go ahead and get started reading into Chapter 1. It is from the 3rd edition, so it's not 4th edition, but honestly, there's not a ton of difference in that chapter, so you should be fine. Here are instructions on how to do a discussion board post. I cannot reiterate enough the importance of paying a ton of attention here. The discussion boards are a big percentage of your grade in the class. You don't want to take these lightly. You don't want to put in minimal effort. You don't want to do these at the last minute. This is the basis for all discussion in the class. We don't meet face to face, so here's where I get to hear your ideas and I get to see how you integrate what you're learning in the class to answering questions that I pose to you on the discussion boards, which we will be doing weekly. So I have all the basic instructions there of how you'll be doing that. You will take a look a little bit more at this in the week 1 folder and then again in the week 2 folder as we start getting into these. But go ahead and read through the rubric of kind of what I'm looking for when you post. Be aware of all due dates and times. Mainly you're doing a main discussion post every week by Thursday, 11:59 p.m. Thursday, which means if it's midnight, it's already Friday and it's late. And then you're responding to other people's main posts by Saturday at 11:59 p.m. And that's going to be pretty much the same every single week. So that's a good thing to kind of check in your memory banks and be paying attention to. Here are some instructions for citing sources. You will be required to cite sources when you reference things in your writing. So if you're pulling something from one of the textbooks, you need to be able to cite properly. You should print these out and keep these with you. I think citations are one of the biggest errors I see across the board in student writing. Not knowing how to cite, not citing. So, we're going to be citing according to APA format. That's the American Psychological Association. It's how we cite in psychology, as well as many of the other social sciences use that standard for writing. And then I've just put some other resources in here you can kind of peruse through. This is a good one, how to email me. Some real big basics here. Remember, whenever you email your professor, you're not sending a text message, okay? So it should be a little more formal. And you always want to address me as your professor, right? That's a good thing. And tell me who you are. Always, give me your name and give me the class that you're referring to. I teach 4 classes, so sometimes students will email me and not tell me what class they're talking about. And then I have to play detective and figure that out. So, good to have all the basics every time you email me. Some info about policies, plagiarism, good to know, especially if you're new to Westfield State and you're not familiar with our policies. These are in line with the college as a whole, so please pay attention to those. I also give just some tips and some things that I think might be helpful, for test taking and note taking, and if it's your first online class, and if you're coming from high school, some good stuff. And I've also got some campus resources that you may or may not be aware of that are available to you that you could take advantage of over the course of the semester. So check that out. There's some links and stuff in there that could be very helpful. So that's pretty much it in the Start Here menu. Again, this was just meant to kind of orient you to what's there, and this should be the first place that you're going, step one, as you're entering this class and getting going in this first week. You want to be kind of looking through all of that. I'll have more in your week one podcast for you to check out, but that's it. That's it for now. Welcome to the class. I really look forward to meeting everybody online and having some great discussion. Excited about teaching you guys psychology, and whether or not you're a psych major, I think there's going to be something for everyone that's going to be interesting. So good luck to everybody, and I will be talking to you soon.